Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Thursday, July 7th, 2016 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I surrender all my feelings to the universe. And today we've got some intense astro moving through. We've got a lot of plutonic connections. And I remember we went through some aspects a few years ago that felt like a plutonic colonic. And I think we're getting kind of another version of this plutonic colonic. We're getting a plutonic colonic when it comes to our feelings. The universe is giving us a chance to get the feels out. And this is ultimately here to help us, but it may not feel completely comfortable. So I want to start by mentioning the moon is in Leo, which is lighting up our heart. It is lighting up our inner child energy. And I think if you are like me, many of us are very comfortable with our light energy. I went to my mentor years ago and was like, I know my light so well. I'm so good with that. I'm so comfortable with it. Show me my darkness. Show me where that is. Help me find that. And she was like, that is where I would look is your control issues, your perfection issues. That is your darkness. That's where you need to dive in. And Pluto in Capricorn is showing us all our control issues. It's showing us those perfection issues. We're also getting a glimpse of that with all the Jupiter energy in Virgo. The control, the perfectionism, where we don't show our true selves because, oh my God, what if we show that part of ourselves? This energy with Pluto, with Mercury connecting to Pluto and the Sun connecting to Pluto, both of them are in kind of a tug of war, opposition with Pluto energy today. Both of them are showing us where we control, repress those dark feelings within ourselves. And this plutonic colonic is like, you've got to get this energy out. You've got to acknowledge this energy. You cannot keep holding it within because then it explodes in a moment where, it's not something of importance and suddenly you're fighting with somebody about it because the energy needs to be seen. The energy needs to move out. The energy, ultimately, it kind of feels like this. It's that burden. It's that heaviness that sits in the pit of your stomach that waits for the right astrological moment or the right trigger moment and then bursts forward because it's there. So this energy is not about denying its presence. It's instead surrendering to its presence, acknowledging that it's there and bringing it forward, whether it's through writing, whether it's through speaking, whether it's through, this is one of Dr. Christiane Northrup's things, sorry, it's black, my whole background's black, is taking a cloth and whacking it against something to get it physically out as you say what it is that you're holding on to and releasing it, speaking it to the universe. I had a teacher who was always anytime he would say something, he would be like, cancel that to the universe. And I think, the thing is, whether you're saying it and saying cancel that or you're holding it in your body, the universe is aware of it. So it's time to bring it to the light and offer your heart energy that is tuned into with the moon in Leo to this other energy. And if you find yourself, releasing, exploding on somebody today, which is very possible with this, this tension, this old stuff coming up, honor them and yourself by saying, I'm sorry. I've been holding on to that for a long time. Sometimes sorry doesn't fix everything, but at least own it if any of those explosions come up. So we've got the moon squaring Mars. So our heart is kind of squaring that passionate energy. And this may be feeling some tension. It's 23 degrees. You may feel some tension in your mind from that. We have the moon trining Uranus then. That light energy is I just gotta break free. I've got to express myself. I've got to get it out. Meanwhile, as we have that going on, we've got Mercury opposite Pluto. So our expression, what we need to get out, may very well be plutonic energized, Pluto energized. We have Venus tuning us into our worth, our self-care, our comfort levels, squaring Uranus. Today definitely may not feel very comfortable. Although from the cards that I'm getting, I do believe today is going to be liberating if you allow yourself to liberate it. That's the purpose of these horoscopes, is to bring the consciousness into the energy. It doesn't mean that listening to this, oh, it's going to be easy. Okay, I'm conscious of this energy within me. I'm conscious that this is being brought forward from me. How do I work with this so that I don't take it out on somebody else? The sun is going to oppose Pluto. That's going to be in the afternoon. So that's probably going to be one of the biggest tension energies. And again, this is going to take you out of your comfort zone. This may be that there are things that you do actually need to say to somebody. As we do have a lot of past life relationship stuff coming up right now, or even in this life relationship stuff coming up for healing right now, one of your best bets may be getting out and writing a letter to your ex or to past life ex or whatever and being like, this really steamed me how you did this, and I forgive you, and I forgive myself for staying in that. That may be one of the most liberating things that you can do in this energy. I think the thing is, show up and keep surrendering to really work with this energy well. We're going to have the moon shift into Virgo later in the afternoon. I think that may be kind of bringing in some peace. Focus on yourself. Focus on treating your body good. I will probably be hermiting myself through that transit just to be present with myself and any of these feelings that come up so I can express them and, not take them out on everybody. But I also recognize, not everybody can hermit. I think one of the big things, you cannot control the world. And we try to control ourselves. And you can see when these things come forward, when these intense aspects come forward, it's really hard to even control ourselves. But instead, acknowledge, be conscious, and stop hiding it, because ultimately this is a very liberating energy if you allow it to liberate yourself. So I've got a great card from the animal cards. So good. I pulled the Scorpion card, and I think this is what happens when we repress that energy. It's like, shoo. And I remember one of my teachers saying one time a long time ago, Scorpion energy, it's like a bee. When it's, attacking somebody else, ultimately it's always, it's you that you hurt. And so remember that today if you do feel called to lash out, that a lot of times if you're lashing out at somebody else, you're also hitting yourself in the heart. And this card is saying it's time to come clean about your feelings so everyone can heal and you can get back to your fiery, fun self. Come clean with yourself about your feelings. You don't have to hide that you're a control freak. You don't have to hide that you're a perfectionist. You don't have to hide that, when you hear people chew or breathe, it angers you. Acknowledge it for yourself. These are your things, and it's okay to have the things. We all have the things. The comparison card. We all have the stuff, and it can feel like a burden, but it's just part of the lessons that we all came to move through, and it's here to transform you, and it's here to ultimately bring you grace. But first, you've got to be willing to receive grace. You've got to recognize that you're worthy of receiving grace, even for your shadows. So, intense Astro. You can make it. Bring your consciousness to the party. And I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.